Well, greetings once again, my friends, my fellow ocean liner lovers, and my fellow lovers of history. I'd like to welcome you to another video. Today's subject is going to be an ocean liner. It's not going to be a transatlantic one. It's going to be, well, she does have her home port in New York, or did, but her trips were to Havana, Cuba. I'm talking about the SS Morro Castle. Now, I've done a history on this ship if you guys are curious, and the ship is just, it's been through so much and it's got such an amazing history. It needs to be told. It can't be forgotten. But what I want to show you guys today is something that was made during her demise. I want to talk about Asbury Park. That's actually a place in New Jersey, and I want to fill you in on what that is in a moment. But what happened with this ship is this ship actually caught fire, and the hulk of the ship ended up coming to rest on the shores of New Jersey, and it was Asbury Park. It had been quite the attraction, and it drew a lot of spectators to go and see the ship. As a matter of fact, they were actually thinking about keeping her there. But all the food and everything that was aboard had started to rot, and it was causing a stench, and then they ended up towing it out of the area. But today's video is going to be a commemorative piece where you may or may not know what the penny elongators are. You kind of put a penny into a machine, you crank it, and depending on where you are or what the mold is, it'll elongate the penny, and it'll form the copper into what that mold is. And I want to show you guys today a penny, elongated penny, from the Morro Castle. It was commemorating the ship, and it was actually from Asbury Park. So what I want to do is, before we get into the video, I'd like to show you guys exactly what Asbury Park was. That way there you'll have a little bit more of an understanding. So sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, and I hope you guys enjoy the video.
Founded in 1871 by manufacturer James Bradley, Asbury Park began as a seaside residential resort in a prime waterfront location. Shortly after the city's inception, a beach boardwalk was constructed, featuring an orchestra pavilion, public changing rooms, and a pier extending into the Atlantic Ocean, capitalizing on the opportunity to attract visitors beyond the local region. News of the boardwalk traveled fast and attracted tourists from the surrounding areas, as well as entrepreneurs and entertainers looking to bring their business to town and brand their entertainment to the boardwalk's growing crowds. As Asbury Park's popularity increased, the size and offerings of the boardwalk expanded to accommodate higher demand. In the 1920s, the Paramount Theater and Convention Hall ushered in a new era of music and performing arts that still exists to this day. But it is the 1930s that I'm more interested in. I want to direct your attention in particular to 1934, September 8th. This is when the Morro Castle came to rest on the shores of New Jersey and Asbury Park. As a matter of fact, the memorial is still there to this day, and I'll read you from its face. This monument is dedicated to the 137 passengers and crew of the SS Morro Castle who lost their lives on September 8, 1934, when the ship burned off the Jersey coast when returning from Havana. She was coming back from Cuba to New York City. It is also dedicated to the many courageous Jersey Shore residents who risked their own lives or provided assistance to rescue Morro Castle survivors from the rough seas and recover the victims who washed ashore or were pulled from the sea. American maritime history was forever changed by the Morro Castle disaster, incorporating fire prevention designs into the ships and requiring mandatory lifeboat drills. These are a direct result of the great loss of life. The still burning Morro Castle beached itself in Asbury Park, just off the convention hall, and became a major tourist attraction until the charred hulk was towed away to be sold as scrap months later. Mystery still surrounds the events of the Morro Castle, that fateful night, mysteries that may never be solved, but which resulted in one of the greatest maritime disasters in American history. This monument is dedicated by the Asbury Park Historical Society on September 8th, 2009.
Okay, so I want to show you the penny. It's in the envelope. Now that you know what Asbury Park is, and its affiliation with the Morro Castle. So, incidentally, I recently had gotten this a while ago. Well, not too long ago, but I'm reading over this as well. This is The Shipwreck, The Strange Fate of the Morro Castle. And this one, actually, what drew me to the book in the first place is that you can actually see it has like a plan, and I've been looking for a plan of the ship because I intend to do a scratch build of the Morro Castle, similar to the way I did a scratch build of the Edmund Fitzgerald. So, and plus, this is going to provide a lot of information for the timeline that I'm working on. I've also done a review on Fire at Sea, the story of the Morro Castle by Thomas Gallagher. And this one, I'm lucky enough to have it signed by Mr. Gallagher. So I'm liking this a lot. And my next video on the Morro Castle is I worked and I've got a timeline. So I compiled all the information, and I want to do like a timeline of the events that happen aboard the ship. Now, I'm not talking about the courts and all that. I'm talking about what specifically happened only aboard the ship. So I'm going to be making a video on this shortly. I just figured that you guys that don't know about the Morro Castle, this ship really needs to be remembered, because she's been through so much. So why don't I go ahead and I'm going to show you guys the penny now. And again, it's a penny. It's not huge. Look at that. So I'm going to, let me see if I can get this into the shot where you guys can see the, I think I'll be able to take you off of the tripod, and I'll be able to show it to you a little bit better. Let me do that. So you can see it's a little bit worn. There's nothing on the other side because it gets completely flattened. But what I want to do is I want to clean it. So what I'm going to do is let me put it back over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pack of spicy taco sauce. And the acids from the heat from the spices and the acid in the tomato, I'm actually going to put the penny in. We're going to leave it. I don't know how long I'm going to leave it. I'll say we'll leave it overnight, and we'll come back tomorrow and we're going to see if it actually got cleaned. But I'm going to put a thin slice into the bag or the packet, and I'm going to just put the penny in, and then we'll check on it tomorrow. Okay, so what I did was I took it out of the packet and I used a little bit of soap and water and cleaned it up. You can see a little bit more of the detail. The Morro Castle. Let me see if I can do it better this way. Yeah, that looks better. So, a souvenir of Asbury Park, September 1934, the SS Morro Castle. So what I want to do, I want to share this with you. If I can find any information on the actual machine that was used to make this, or find pictures of it, I want to show you guys what it actually looked like. So you take a regular penny and you put it into the slot, and it falls down into a little chamber where it goes into the wheels that are going to crank it. So when you crank it out, it actually flattens the penny on one side, and it actually takes the form of the mold. And that's what happens. We got this beautiful picture of the ship, and we got a souvenir from Asbury Park. So I'm going to do a little slideshow, and I'll do some pictures to show this for you guys. It might be a little better than my hand because it's unsteady, but that's what I'll leave you with. We'll go into the slideshow. I just wanted to share this with you. The SS Morro Castle. She's a beautiful ship. If you're curious about the history of her, I'll put the link in the description so you can check out the history of this absolutely gorgeous ship that really didn't deserve what she got. It was pretty awful how the crew ended up acting, especially when it comes to the passengers. But that is the Morro Castle, and this was the elongated penny from Asbury Park. So my friends, I thank you for watching, and enjoy the slideshow.